You are listening to the Cigar Noise Boys.
You know, it's leather when we ride, wood, grain, and rawhide, doing what we do, watching scenes, watching screens getting high. Girl, you keep it so fly with your sweet honey buns. You was there when the money was gone, you'll be there when the money comes. Off top, I can't lie, I love to get blowed. You're my little sugar, I'm your little chew low. And every time we kick it, it's off to the groovy. Keep going?
No, that's not gonna help.
Got me
Yeah.
lifted, shifted, higher than the ceiling. And ooh wee,
Oh my
it's the
God,
ultimate feeling.
I
You got me
know that
lifted,
song.
feeling so gifted. Sugar, how you get so fly? Sugar, sugar, how you get so fly?
I remember that song, but I don't remember who sings it.
Baby Bash featuring
Who?
Jay.
Baby Bash?
Yeah, Baby Bash.
Wow.
So one hit wonder.
No, it
He
has
had a
to
couple
be.
other songs, but it was a fucking banger in 03, 02.
Those were the days. What's up, Cigar Noise Boys? I have Wi-Fi now, first time ever.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Actually, it has.
it's been pretty good so far.
It's cut out twice on my cell phone, but that's haven't tested yet on this recording. What's up, Mo?
How are you, sir?
Doing all right. Constipated, but that's life.
Oh,
Are you really?
Yeah, it's normal.
Well, you been getting your getting your shit pushed in too much over there in California?
California.
No, so I actually found the cure. So you have to make
Positories?
no. Like a
No.
cure
like
that
it.
everyone would be down with.
Okay.
So you take some nice warm water,
Mhm.
like 2 quarts, half gallon.
Mhm.
I forget how, like a soda liter. A liter, not 2
Alright.
liters. Some sea salt, specifically sea salt, a little bit of lemon juice, and you have to chug it. It's like the good
Okay.
old days. And that's it.
Butt chug it or swallow it?
No. Just like in the morning, you do that, and then an hour you have movement.
There's actually a better accelerant if
Which
you
is?
want to try it.
Nicotine.
Pre-workout in Copenhagen.
I don't do pre-workout, and I don't put a good dip in.
Okay, but you could try it. I mean, in emergency situations, call for emergency measures.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep some pre-workout on hand, and then a little Copenhagen if the inspiration strikes. And dude, you are on the toilet.
So, Mo,
Guaranteed.
do you know why I'm against pre-workout?
No, why?
I feel like there's ever a situation where I need to use my strength, I'm not going to have the time to crack and open a cold one.
It makes no sense.
Like,
Well,
if so one of the customers thinks the world's going to end, or not the world, California is going to get exploded next 2 months from now. Anyway,
No, it's gonna flood before that happens.
but he knows and no one else knows. So bet on Russia for leaking that to the guy at my cigar lounge. Where was I going with this?
I don't know. In case
Oh,
you need
so-
more strength.
Yeah, so Red Dawn, we get attacked. I'm not going to have a supply of pre-workout if I'm taking it. Then I'm going to get weak. I need to just be strong off of beans and whatever I can find around the house. Gavin is-
Pre-workout is more of a mental thing, number one, and number two, it's not a fucking miracle drug.
Right, but it's also like why I don't listen to music
You're
when
gonna
I
take a
work
lot
out.
more pre-workout to make you strong.
I got to psych myself with just my brain.
Oh, you're in trouble. man.
Overcome the odds.
Okay, but for the record, the best way to end constipation is liquid nitrate.
Liquid
Like
nitrogen.
whippets?
No, it's like something you get at Walgreens, and you drink it. The clear liquid. It tastes really like sour.
Oh,
and you will be
yeah.
shit in a half hour.
I've done that, but I want to do something more natural, so I went the water route.
Yeah, but
That's
I feel like
good,
you
though.
do that at least like once every 6 months. Is clean yourself out.
I just go to White Castle for that.
Mm.
BW3s used to do it for me.
Chipotle.
What's that?
BW3s.
Oh yeah, that's a laxative. Well, that could be a good question for
What's
you
your favorite?
guys.
What gives you the squirts?
Yeah, what 3 restaurants? If you go there, you know you need a toilet nearby.
That could have been a draft. That's not cigar related though.
What's that?
Because we haven't done it in a while. One of our segments was drafting. So we'd say draft a Connecticut. And I would go, then Tyler would go. And we'd post a list on Instagram, and then people would vote who had the better team.
Oh, okay.
We stopped doing it because Tyler won most of them.
Don, what do you think that says about your?
I go against the grain. I'm not a follower. So I'm proud that, I had one win, I think, out of 5.
Yeah.
My self-worth is not tarnished.
It's good, man.
All right, so we have a few listener questions, topics, and then we'll get into you guys unpacking TPE.
Okay.
Smoke Ring Dude, the other Tyler from Texas, says,
Roy
sup.
Tyler.
Sup. That's it.
Roy Tyler.
Hey, Roy Tyler, you ever think about squatting without a weight belt? It's good for your core.
Ooh.
You got to go less weight, though. That's the thing.
Shots fired.
Romatron says, he's back, baby.
Where was he?
I don't know. I think that's at you, or is it? It's got to be for you, Mo. Tron, you got to don't use pronouns like that. What's the antecedent of he? We don't know.
Wait, what was the quote?
He said he's back, baby.
Oh, maybe, yeah, it could be about me, I guess. Or I thought,
or us.
I took it like he was back.
Boys are back.
Like he was back to. Well, I smoked a cigar with Tron. He came down to Chicago a couple of weeks ago. And we had a cigar together.
Nice.
Felt kind of bad. It was really cold outside. I told him that somebody was towing his Jeep, and so he was about to go up the stairs and go outside to look and see. And I stopped him because I didn't want to send him out in the cold. Felt kind of bad about that.
Oh, he was mad about that.
He
told me he was mad about that.
Yeah, he was fuming.
It's kind of a mean thing to do.
A little bit.
No, that would have been if I let him go outside in the cold, but I stopped.
NC6789 says, should I send you another Yogi shirt?
I could only handle so much, deliciousness.
I heard a rumor that when you wore that shirt, it was your biggest sales day of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
You wrote more orders that day than the previous other days.
Yep, combined.
Immediately after NC, got Yogi. 2 questions, actually. Well, he says congrats to Mo on the sold-out anniversary cigar.
Thank you, sir.
And then he says, did Tyler have top bunk or bottom bunk?
We shared a bunk.
Yeah.
We use the top bunk for our clothes.
Yeah. And all the cigars Tyler accumulated over the 3 days.
Tyler, do you want to ask Brandon's?
I didn't see it.
Dang, I sent it. Okay, check.
You texted it to me?
Yeah, ICS, International Cigar Society, says, how many extra towels do you usually ask for? I guess it's for you, Mo, when you stay at hotels while traveling?
0. I try to reuse at least 1 towel twice. It's usually about 3-day trips. So try to use a towel more than once, and then, yeah, so usually don't ask for extra. I try to do my part.
Yeah, you can ask that question now.
No, I'm not. Okay, because I think some of my students found the podcast, so I'm not going to say that right now. Got to give it some time.
Okay, so Brandon asked, did anything get us excited? And not in so many words. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the... Damn, this echo is awful.
What makes your soldier stand to attention?
Yeah, the Patina with the Connecticut broadleaf pepper.
What's that?
Your 5-year anniversary cigar.
Oh yeah.
Well, Perks your percolator.
Oh yeah, yeah, that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, excited for that. That cigar is awesome. Sucks that it's only going to be limited, but what are you gonna do?
No,
Like I
heard
said
you.
before, like on, I think it was the last time I was on. I just don't know how these guys could use Connecticut broadleaf and keep a cigar under, 15 to $20. It's pretty crazy.
Just use Pennsylvania and call it Connecticut.
Yeah. I guess you could do that.
Mo,
That'd be
I'm
disingenuous.
kind of upset at you because
hmm
you're coming out with this sometime shortly, and Skip's coming out, or I guess Romacraft is coming out with a Skip's Quinquagenario sometime soon.
Yeah, but mine's like this month soon, like March.
Okay, Tyler, can you confirm or deny that the Quinquagenario is coming out after this month?
It's coming. Oh,
Oh man,
it's coming out after the 5-year patina.
perfect. Okay, never mind. Everything's fine. Because Mo, I don't know if you know this, but we're not. Some people would call us a cigar podcast, but we're that, but we're a little bit more. Some people would call us a fashion podcast, lifestyle. Yeah,
Oh
sure.
right, yeah.
But
Yeah,
we're actually a
fashion.
financing savvy podcast. So I'm budgeting, and
With savvy
Patina
podcast.
5 years in my radar.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
Tyler's trying to burn down the state of Texas at the moment.
We're in a drought too.
So Tyler, is that a trash can fire that you got going on?
No, it's one of those solo stoves.
You cook out of it?
No, it's a fire pit.
There's a lot of flurries flying around.
Yeah, because I put a box in there. I'm not supposed to put a box. I'm not supposed to put anything above it, but I
Yeah.
do what I want. Grown as a
Did
man.
you read the instruction manual?
Yeah, but I don't care. I do what I want. I told you that.
Okay. All right, guys. How was the trade show?
A lot of flurries.
A lot of what?
Oh, the
I call them
ashes.
flurries. You don't call them
They
flurries?
said a lot of furries.
No.
That too. Oh, I better go.
Yeah. I thought when he asked about the trade show, TPE is always interesting, man, because like just a collection of characters that you see during the show. Obviously, when you have CBD and vape, and I don't know, I guess there's some sort of new mushroom-based thing that's taking over the world. Forgot what it's called. Tyler, do you remember what it's called? They had a booth not far from us.
No, I don't.
Dom, do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
I've been hearing a lot about mushrooms though.
Is it like Joe Rogan
Because of The Last
takes
of
a
Us.
supplement with mushrooms?
I don't know. But so yeah, I mean, it's always interesting from that perspective, but I don't know, man. I know people were talking about how it was like amazing and this and that. I didn't think it was bad, but I felt last year was more busy. But maybe not. I don't know. Not sure. But yeah, I definitely thought last year was busier.
Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, it was. It seemed like there's a lot more, of the other stuff. Because they changed the name from Tobacco Product, whatever Expo to Total Product or some shit. So they're trying to get like snacks and convenience store shit, but it was crazy, like how much deeper it was to get to the food in the back. You had to go through millions of CBD, and it's weird because they were relentless. Like you walk through there, and they see me smoking a cigar. They see me having a badge that says manufacturer on it, but they would still try to like give me shit. I'm like, look, you're sorry, you're wasting your time. And every booth they would try to stop me, and I had to keep telling them like, look, I have a girlfriend, I can't talk to you.
Yeah,
That's why they're stopping you?
I mean, I assume. I don't think they're trying to sell me anything.
I mean, definitely some stuff to be, excited about. I mean, Vlad is coming out with a couple cigars, who's I think friends with all of us, which
Yep.
is pretty cool. That I'm trying to think. Cavalier released something new, but I did not get a chance to smoke it. But yeah, I mean, definitely, it's always good to catch up with people that you don't really get to see that often. But I mean, in terms of retailer presence, I got the feeling, because when I originally talked to my brokers about people going, when I asked them like late last year, they were like, yeah, this person's going, a lot of people are going. And then as we got closer to the show, it seemed like people started pulling out a little bit. But I don't know, man. I got done what I needed to get done. Maybe I just wasn't really paying enough attention. Not sure. And Tyler was with me pretty much the entire time, except he'd go float
Yes.
around, gather intelligence and whatnot.
Tyler,
Yeah.
did you smoke anything fun?
I mean, no. I brought
Tyler,
most of
did
the
you
stuff.
even get any other samples?
I didn't get much. A lot of people were stingy. I got a
Really?
bunch of Espinals at 10-year anniversaries. I got a few Crown Heads. I got one from Enrique Cejas. In the 3 years I've been in the booth with him, this is the first time he ever offered me a cigar, which was nice. Crux gave me one. Ian didn't give me one. I gave him one, but Ian didn't give me one. Foundation gave me a couple. Yeah, it was kind of a dry.
I heard from Triple B, who works at my shop, that the Wise Blood by ATL was solid. That's made at Luciano's factory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't smoked it.
I just
I
know
don't know. I don't know those guys. So.
I've only smoked the one that was for the small batch blind review, and that wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see that they have something good coming out.
Man,
Hey,
it's funny. Yeah, go ahead.
shout out CigarNoise. Sorry, sponsor segment. Dave West doing all things small batch online. Check out the website. Check out his the blogs, interviews he does, blind reviews. CigarNoise. Dave West, cool guy.
Also, shout out
Dave,
to our third sponsor, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com and type in CigarNoise Boys. You'll save 10% off.
Can you get in trouble for saying that someone's a sponsor if they're not a sponsor?
They are a sponsor.
Okay.
I don't
And
know
we're
if you're
also
saying enough.
sponsored by stamp.com. What are the ones you always do in a podcast?
NordVPN.
Yeah, so Mo, what are your expectations going into like a smaller show like TPE on the other years you've been? God, this mic sounds
Yeah,
weird.
first year was 2020, so I really don't have many expectations to be honest. I never had expectations going into the show, to be honest, because the reality, look at you got to be realistic with yourself, and I think every person that sets up a booth believes uh, wholeheartedly that their cigars are the best, or else you wouldn't be doing it, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I think you got to step back and be like, okay, I call myself a day two brand, right? Day one are for the big brands. Most retailers are spending the time trying to get the deals from the big guys before they either sell out or whatnot, or at least try to get in line before things go on back order. So you got to be understanding of that. Day two is typically when the smaller brands get their time to shine. Day three, and really get going. But my thing is, man, I think a lot of retailers are slowing down, especially compared to the last couple of years, right? So
Yeah.
if you were projecting things based on 2020, 2021, even 2022, you're obviously going to be in for a rude surprise come 2023.
Yeah.
And so I think shops are being a little bit more careful with their money, and quite frankly, they should be. Um, and so I think that's going to also continue to PCA and the rest of 2023. So you want to try to be fast. Like I try to get most of my TPE stuff done before the show, even.
Yeah.
Like just get as many orders as I can before the show, before guys are like, oh, I spent my budget and I don't want to, whatever. So that's kind of what I try to do.
Yeah, then that's a tough thing too, is seeing like if they were gonna order regardless of them coming to you being there or not, So it's
Yeah.
like, were you gonna get those orders or not? So, I mean, but I think it's just a good way to, like I think you said, just when you're coming back, and just being visible that you're here to stay,
Yep.
and but yeah, I love going to them. It's a good way to see everybody, and especially now that I don't like work retail, or I don't do social media as much as I used to. It's
Because you got a girlfriend now.
Yeah, busy, and so we went to Hibachi one night. That was fun. Benihana's.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's all I have. What was the?
Yeah, man, it's pretty low key.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think that if I always ask myself, do people want to party because they feel like that's what they should be doing, or do they do it because they genuinely enjoy it? And I don't know the answer to that, but what I could tell you is it is amazing how many people will like hang out with us like afterwards and just chill and like find a quiet spot, have a cigar and have good conversation and be like, yeah, I don't know why I don't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess my thing would be for anybody that does go to the show, like you don't have to act the fool just to feel like you're fitting in. It's perfectly cool to be like do your own thing and just chill with people that you enjoy talking to and that you could actually have a conversation with in a environment that isn't super loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, that's what, like, going into it, like, I mean, I wouldn't say we saw each other a ton when I lived in Wisconsin, but it was more frequent than it is now. So,
Yeah.
it's like, because most people stayed at the Sahara, and most people smoked there, but we would smoke at the Hilton resorts. I think like a lot of people were staying there. Like we saw James Brown there every night. Charlie Minato, we saw a lot there. A couple other shop owners there, so it was chill, and you could sit down like at the Circle Bar, at the Venetian, and then the Cash Bar at Sahara. You could never sit down. It's like, I'm fat. I need to sit down. I can't stand for 4 hours. I might start bringing my own chairs to the casino.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night. It's probably 70 degrees out. I got my new fire pit going. I burned some old cigar boxes and some garbage.
Dude, I saw on eBay somebody trying to sell patina boxes.
Empty?
Yeah, that was me.
Huh?
Just empty boxes or
on eBay? Yeah.
Yeah, you signed them.
Huh.
No, I didn't.
No, I'm kidding.
They're asking like $10 for them. Thought that was hilarious.
Were they the old style or new style?
No, new style. I wonder if like people go to cigar shops, buy them for $1, or even get them for free, and then turn around on eBay like, oh yeah, I'm an art teacher, and then they take them and just put them on eBay or whatever, Etsy, and try to sell them, make money.
Dude, they're always hustling, man.
Mm-hmm.
I would try to ask them, like, oh, what school is this for? And then they're like, oh, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'm glad you're starting the kids off early, and then they do like an off
I'm still there's money to be made there if you can find a purpose and a way to collect from lounges, the empty boxes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
I mean, dude, if you got certain, I bet Byron Atabay boxes, stuff like that, or actual like
Got the chocolate
Davidoff year
monsters.
of stuff like that. People absolutely want that stuff. Um, yeah, but a regular production patina box, I can't imagine uh, is going to excite anybody or any really regular production stuff uh, from anybody.
I planted some seeds in some empty boxes this
What's
week
that?
and last week. I'm getting ready to start my garden, so I planted some seeds
Nice,
in some boxes. Yeah,
nice.
just drilled a hole through the bottom, which actually some of the boxes you can't really drill through. The wood just
Mhm,
splinters. Didn't think about
mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Um, Mo, you were one of the last to bump up your prices
Yeah.
during that wave. I feel like we're
Mhm.
getting into the second wave now of price increases.
Mhm.
Do you think it's still best to kind of hold off, or do you want to be the first person to raise prices? I don't know.
So, man, dude, that is such a great question. First and foremost, I was wrong. Okay. I thought, like, first of all, my costs went up significantly
Hmm.
between box costs, distribution costs, tobacco costs, all of that. So I said, okay, I'm not going to raise prices, and hopefully, I'll get rewarded by the retailers or consumers and say, hey, man, when everybody else was raising, this guy didn't. I was completely wrong on that. Nobody gave a shit. It didn't help me at all.
Hmm.
And finally, after PCA, I raised the Connecticut and Habano 2%. I didn't even touch the other things. And I haven't done a price increase since, right? And in reality, I probably need to, but I'm going to try to ride it out
Yeah.
um, because, we're in this for the long term, right? So uh, I'll continue to eat it, whatnot, for now, or as long as I could anyway. But yeah, I mean, the reality of the situation is, man, is even if you're vertically integrated, you could absorb some costs better, but they also have a lot more overhead. So like if you're on a factory level, you have all that labor, and labor is getting more expensive, especially as labor is harder to find.
Mhm.
Um, so there's that aspect. Um, but yeah, when you're not growing your own tobacco and you're relying on the factory and all of that, obviously your costs are going to be higher. Um, but yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, I know the consumer's getting it pretty good because everyone is raising prices. Even if it's a few cents at a time, if it's every year, it starts to add up. But costs definitely have gone up. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise because they absolutely have insignificantly, not just a little bit. Um, the other thing I would say is I think a lot of brands, and I think I talked about this the last time I was on with you guys, but we got to be really careful to not price ourselves out of humidors either. Um, if you're not established or you're an expendable brand out of a humidor, you could easily price yourself out, and people will be like, "Yeah, it's too much now, right?"
Yeah, because I
um,
it came out a few weeks ago, but Paustania had a huge increase, but they also hadn't increased in a long time.
hmm
So I'll have to ask them what they think about that too.
Yeah, dude,
If
it's
they would
just
have
like
done
you
things
gotta.
differently.
I think it's tough too because you are trying to be profitable, but also not price yourself out. And the reality is, I still sold more cigars last year than I did any other year. So the 2% really was absorbed pretty easily. And again, that worked out to a few cents. It wasn't like hugely that much of a difference, but
Like Davidoff's raise.
yeah, no, it's not, nothing like that. But um, yeah, it's definitely a battle out there, man.
Speaking of selling more cigars last year, I
hmm
see maybe it's just that you're reposting them more often, but I'm seeing a lot of accounts I had never heard of on Instagram smoking patina, which is cool to see.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like it's becoming like, look, it's weird how this stuff happens. And you guys have, all three of us have worked in shops, right? So not only do you have to get the retailer to bring it in, you have to get acceptance by their customers. And then the culture of the shop has to support your brand being smoked as acceptable. And I know that sounds crazy on the surface, but follow me here, right? How many times do you go into a shop and people will smoke a certain brand because they think, oh yeah, this guy smokes it, this guy smokes it. It's cool to smoke it. Like each shop has thought leaders. I don't care where you are in the country. Every shop has thought leaders. And so it's like you have like this multi-step process to really get acceptance in the shop. Now, if the manager or owner smokes it a lot, that definitely helps quicken that process. But otherwise, like there has to be a vibe around your brand. And I think that, slowly we're kind of building that. And that's a lot of it is thanks to you guys and like the OGs that have been with Patina for a long time, always kind of like, hey man, it's okay to smoke this. These are good cigars. You're not a, as Tyler would say, you're not a square if you smoke Patina. So I think like that's a big part of it, whether we want to admit it or not, is like acceptance of yes, this is an okay brand to smoke. People do respect it. It is a indication that you know cigars. And I think that's big for people.
Yeah, I shared with Mo that this guy I worked with in Denver, he sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, I finally tried one of those cigars you're always smoking." So it's nice to know that like people see what you smoke and they'll give it a shot. Cause I usually don't post. Like now I smoke a ton still, but I don't post like my stories all the time. Usually if I'm smoking a patina, which I haven't posted in a couple of days, but I've been doing the patina robusto on my way to work every morning. It's a great way to start your morning. But it's I've been usually just posting Roma crafts and patina on my stories, but it's it's kind of nice to see that social media that people still kind of use it or like pay attention. Like people who I don't really talk to that much on daily, like I'll see them at the trade show and they'll be like, "Hey man, I don't comment." Like even Matt Booth, like
Mm-hmm.
I always thought he was a cool dude. We got to hang out a little bit in Wisconsin, and then like he would randomly call me, "Hey, how's the brand doing? What are you smoking? Oh, you're not smoking my cigar. You suck." You know, but like for him to say like, "Hey man, I'm proud of you. See, you seem really happy now," and he said something like, "Just watching you grow into yourself. Like it's cool. Like that people like care. That's what I like about the cigar industry. People like care, and then they may not comment, but they'll damn, there's so many airplanes over here. But that they still see what you're doing, So
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. And then but that's like what the cool thing about the cigar industry, man, is like take any other hobby or anything like you purchase. Like how often can you talk to the owner of that brand? Like Mo, like I mean, you have your own fucking cigar brand, and you come on the pod whenever all the time whenever we ask, you have no problem hopping on. But it's like, what other product can you do that? Like, I love Monster Energy drink. I'm never gonna get the owner of Monster on this podcast. Or I love Qdoba. I'm not gonna have the owner of Qdoba come on. That's what the cool thing. Or even like if you think of something like liquor, or like, I mean, maybe you could get like a small time brewery, like some of those hip ones. Probably not, but that's the cool thing about the cigar industry. And that's what makes
Yeah,
it so interesting about the STG is how the only thing they care about is the profit and making money for their investors, the people who stockholders. And it's like the cigar is secondary. They don't, it's
mm-hmm.
what can I make for the cheapest? what, we have this tobacco, we got to use it. Let's put it. It's not like it takes away the craft part of cigars. When it's just a big machine and their goal is just they want to be the number one profit machine in the cigar industry. So they're opening up shops and they're competing against B&Ms, and they're buying every cigar company, and they're cutting out the middleman. They have all these factories, and it's like, but yet still people are still ordering their stuff over and over again, even though they're opening up shops in the same town. They're discounting their stuff online. They're buying every smaller brand. It's just eventually everything's it's gonna be like the airlines. You're gonna have five choices. You're gonna buy, like I was watching Dave Garofalo and their podcast. They did their predictions, and they had predicted that Alec Bradley would be sold to STG before they announced it. But their next thing is they're thinking that Davidoff will be sold next, because Davidoff is opening up shops and they're going more direct to consumer, and then all their stuff is getting really, really expensive. The new Avo, I think, is almost $20. Even what they did with the Camacho. When has Camacho ever been a $25 cigar? Those Liberties are $22 to $25 now. So I could see them being sold, and then it's just crazy to think about it. The small industry, and you got these big, like, yeah, it's Spotted. Well, they were sold to a big company, but a small brewery competing against Miller Lite. Like, how do you compete? I guess you just slowly. I guess I don't know. It's just weird. It had me thinking a lot, that whole Alec Bradley thing.
Well, it's depressing.
But if I'm
Thank you,
Alec,
Tyler.
if I'm them, I'm taking that. I'm taking the $72 million. How can you not? Fuck.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. I think, man, like, you got to figure out your path. Like, everybody has their way of trying to build their business. For a lot of smaller brands recently, it's been coming out with limited editions, right? So that's a quick cash infusion. You move stuff. People like having limited things or hard to get things. But the question becomes, how long could you keep that up until there's consumer fatigue? And I think, not completely, but I think there's definitely starting to set in some consumer fatigue around limited editions, particularly if it's from, certain brands that keep coming out with them, right? Or certain outfits, whatever. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch too, is like, I think you have to have a strong core line that moves in and of itself to really survive.
Yeah.
I think that was with Ezra Zion way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They had limiteds, and some of them were super good.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think it was like maybe 2 5-packs weren't great, and I kind of just started not to buy them when they would pop up every week.
Right.
So once there's inconsistency with those limiteds, I think you view that the whole brand as being inconsistent then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And the reality is, guys, is like, there aren't many bad cigars on the market that you would, there's a lot of really, really good cigars on the market. And then it just comes down to personal preference. I mean, really, that's what it is.
I mean, have you read small batch blind reviews? We kind of tear into some.
No, I know. No, I know. And the hard thing about the blind reviews is this. You get one cigar of it, right? And that,
Yeah.
that's tough. But like, I don't know if you guys saw Bovida, Rob and Nate did that episode last week or the week before, like, can you taste quality? And they blind smoked 5 different cigars and tried to figure out which one was the $4 one, which one was the $12 one, which one was the $18 one, and which one was the $35 one. Did you guys see that?
No,
No,
I
I
didn't.
didn't.
Great episode, and actually Rob from Bovita got it spot on. And at the end of the day, man, I think when the only thing you could really ask for is when somebody smokes your cigar, they're like, okay, this is quality stuff. Like this is good tobacco. There's something to this. It's not just there's an art to it. It's not just like somebody grabbed something off a shelf and put a band on it. Um, that's really all you want to, because other than that, man, it's all about someone's personal preference, really.
You see
Well,
Ozheads new podcast
Which one?
with Tim Osgener and Crown Heads.
They started a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
have you listened to it?
No.
No.
Oh.
Have you?
No, I just first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, me too. I've heard of it.
Yeah, they do video,
Mhm.
so it must be on YouTube, I assume.
Is it
I mean, hey,
Miguel or Huber? Do you know anything about it? Who's on it?
It's John Huber and Tim Osgener.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean that's two heavy hitters, man. And those guys are smart, dude. Like when we were doing Sultans consistently, like you definitely saw a difference. I mean, it helps. You're out there, you're talking to people, you're answering people's questions, you make yourself accessible. I mean, dude, literally in the last 2 months, I've gotten into 2 shops in the DFW area because those guys were longtime Sultans listeners, and they happen to have connections within the shop. El Dandy Cubano was one of them. You guys know him on Instagram. He's
He's a great dude. Great dude. I don't know if he listens. I think he listens, but he's a great dude.
Phenomenal. And then my boy Simba Rashad, that's his Instagram, I think. He's another guy, works at a shop down in Dallas. Finally got him. So there's like as small brands, we need to build connections with people. They either have to identify with something about us that they can vibe with, or with the brand. To answer your question, Dom, going back to the how do you compete stuff, right? And that's a part of it too, man, is connecting with people and being genuine. Because most people could see bullshit and they could sniff it a mile away, right?
I can't because
So
I'm a hater, so I can.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you got to be authentic, man, because being full of shit only lasts you so long.
What 2 shops in DFW? It's Grapevine. It's the one El Dandy at, and then Simba.
Yeah.
Which one?
Simba is Addison cigar.
In terms of identifying with a cigar brand, as much as Tyler and I disagree on things, that's kind of why we started talking in terms of not like dating, but podcasting.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We met at the Roma Craft after party.
Yeah.
At the trade show. The next year, you invited me to dinner at the trade show, and there's Tyler, and I'm just like, I met that guy last year at Roma Craft.
Oh, that's right. We went to Carson Kitchen.
Yeah, so we connected over a love of Roma Craft and Patina.
Yeah, man. I think
it's weird,
dude. Roma Craft has done one of the best jobs of any brand in the last decade. And the only reason I say the last decade is because Tatawahe and Drew Estate were before that. But if you want to include them, they're in that too. But I mean, really cultivating a following and people that rally around the brand and kind of build like some sort of brotherhood around it and whatnot. Like hats off to Skip and Mike and those guys for doing that. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Well, off of that, kind of side tracking a bit, Room 101 had that.
Yeah, Room 101, absolutely.
I don't think Alec Bradley
Shadow Armor
did or does.
And
it'll be interesting to see.
I apologize if Matt Booth listens. Yes, he did an amazing job at that as well. But no, I don't feel like Alec Bradley necessarily had that or has that.
No. But who
But then
knows? I
again,
haven't been
Alec Bradley
everywhere.
was bigger. Alec Bradley is bigger than all of those. You know, they've been
True.
around longer. Um, so
So what are the? So I'm well into my 30s now. I'm 34. Dom, how old are you, Dom?
29.
29. So you work in the shop, and Mo, you visit a lot of shops. What are the
Mhm.
younger generation smoking, and are there a lot of people in their 20s smoking? Because even when I worked in a shop, I was like the only one who was in their 20s, and then I got to know Tron and then a couple other people, but mostly it was guys in their 40s, late 30s, 40s, 50s. You know,
Mhm.
what's your typical customer like? Or I'm just worried about the next generation of smokers, and I wonder what they're smoking. Because I know when I worked at Lake Country, and there was somebody who was 21 or 22, they would come in here and they grab their Romeos or their Monte Cristos, and I'd say, "Oh, are you
That's
getting
because
those for your
that's all
grandpa?"
they know. Yeah.
I said, "Are you getting those for your grandpa?" And they're like, no, they're for us." I'm like, "Well, why are you smoking grandpa cigars? Let me show you some." Like, but like, I
Yeah.
don't know, like, are the brands I like, and I'm not just talking about Roma Craft Patina, it's like the smaller brands, are those like, I wonder what the next generation of, like, because there hasn't been a ton of new brands. It's, All Saints, West Tampa, Nat
Mhm.
Sherman, kind of. I mean, it's a not really, but there's not
Ferio
like a
Tego,
lot
you
of
mean?
yeah, like Ferio Tego. Like, what are there people in their 20s who are nerding out with cigars like I did? Like, Dom, you never really nerded out, but you're in it a lot. But
Relax.
are there still cigar nerds? You know what I'm saying? Like, and what are the cigar nerds?
Well, we're past. Well, I am. Maybe not you guys so much, but I'm past that age of nerding out on cigars. Dom would probably be more. Tyler, you're probably towards the tail end of that.
Yeah, for
Dom,
sure.
you're right in the thick of it. But Tyler, to answer your question, I always tell people that brands like Patina or whatever, Roma, you know, Foundation. Not to say I'm on that level. I'm just throwing out brands that like those could be the Romeo of tomorrow.
Yeah,
And the only reason those younger guys are coming in there and buying it is because they don't want to, like the legacy brands, because they don't want to sound stupid, like they don't know what they're talking about. So they're like, let me just stick to what I've heard of before, because they're gonna think that I know what I'm talking about. That's what
yeah,
that is. And but I think most people start smoking cigars late 20s, early 30s.
yeah. Well, I'm
Not,
just I'm just curious to see, because there's a problem right now on the brick and mortar side of things is
mhm.
um these shops can't get away with paying people $10 an hour anymore
Yep.
and give them a shitty discount because cigars have gotten so high. How can you pay somebody $12 an hour, $10 an hour when most cigars are 15 or 12 to $18 now? So
Hmm.
you're telling me I got to work one whole hour to afford to smoke a cigar? And not
Right.
only that, with COVID, a lot of people got lazy, um, and they expect the cigars to sell themselves, and
Hmm.
they don't want to go back to hand selling stuff. I
Yeah.
worked at a shop at Lake Country where we went in the humidor with every customer. We talked to every
Hmm.
customer. Smokers Abbey here in Austin does a great job of going in the humidor
Hmm.
with everybody. So I'm
Yep.
just curious to see. I'm just curious to see what happens with. I don't think shops are really creating new smokers or are taking a guy like me who would come in once a week to a shop and
Yep.
turning him into a 5 a day habit, or
Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm just really curious to see what the future, and how do we. I mean, there's still shops that do it. Like when I left Lake Country, like my babies were Foundation and Romacraft, and you know
Yep.
what? They're doing better now than when I was there.
Hmm.
So that makes me happy that the brands I believed in are still doing well. But it's like, I wonder, like, what happens if Tron or Josh and Alex, if they leave Lake Country. Like,
Hmm.
I think Patina and Romacraft will still do well because people have been smoking them. But like, I don't know, I'm just curious to see what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, not a lot of 20-year-olds come to the shop.
Okay.
And usually when they do, it's the Grandpa Cigars or Fuente.
Yeah, brands they've heard of.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of
some
the young,
Dunbarton.
they're not on Instagram either. They're not on Facebook. Like we'll have these new hires, they get hired at the airport, and then they'll make a Facebook just to be on the trade board so they can give away shifts and pick up shifts. But they don't like post like I do, you know.
Yeah.
So I wonder how you get like how they like for me. What really got me into cigars was Instagram, was seeing bands and brands and stuff that I haven't seen before, and then going to shops and seeking it out, going driving to Chicago, and then
well, yeah, you have a couple things working against you now. Like Instagram, there's almost zero doubt that they're trying to suppress anything like cigar related, right?
yeah,
Like they don't really want that stuff to be prominent. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I think in general, younger people don't really do Facebook. I think it's all about TikTok and Snapchat and, Instagram to some extent. But it's definitely getting harder, man, for those to find an outlet where you could really like show off the stuff that you're doing and have it reach a large number of people.
Yeah, I still think TikTok hasn't been. I wonder if people will use that.
They're starting to more, for sure.
It's funny. I have one, and I posted a couple of videos. One of them was, and my TikTok's like private, so I have like 4 followers or some shit. And I posted this video of it was trying to guess my age, and it guessed 22 or whatever. So I posted like on my story, and one of my guys at work screenshotted it and sent it in our group chat, and then the whole group chat just started roasting me that I'm on TikTok making stories like I'm bored at work, I'm smoking a cigar, it guessed my age, it guessed that I was 12 years younger than I was, so I thought it was funny and I posted it. But here I am getting roasted for posting on TikTok.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of TikTok, Tyler, that one time you almost drowned in Nicaragua, I knew we were going to do a podcast about it. So I was going to record a video for Instagram dancing to a song about the ocean. It's the song I used for that podcast. And then I realized it looked like a TikTok dance. And then I thought it probably would have been insensitive, so I just deleted it. It was really bad.
It would have been funny.
I'm glad I didn't post it.
I'll tell you a funny story. So early on when me and Alyssa were dating, she would send me TikToks, and I never had it. I was against it. It was funny. I would just watch reels, and it was of TikToks from 2 weeks ago, whatever. So I downloaded the app, and what I didn't know was, I think I used to have a Musically account, and I would like lip sync and like just fucking like fuck around, and all those videos populated on my fucking TikTok, and they were super fucking cringe. And she saw all those videos, and I deleted them all. But they were like embarrassing. I could not believe those videos were still.
Yeah,
I was so embarrassed. They were the most. There was like 12 videos of me like fucking around in a cigar shop singing a song, and me at work singing a song. I'm like, this is fucking embarrassing. I'm surprised she didn't block me.
Right.
She moved in yet?
Yeah, she moved in when I moved in.
Nice. I thought her lease was a little longer.
Yeah, but so her lease isn't up for a while, but yeah, so it's going good. And then I was gonna say, Mo. So since you guys aren't doing the Sultans much, you should come on the podcast a lot more.
I'm down, man. We'll do it.
Cool. How's Drew doing?
Drew's good.
Nice.
He's good, figuring it out. I think we might actually try to go this Thursday. So I know he mentioned trying to go this Thursday, but I really don't want to give it up because I mean outside of some of the bigger podcasts that have been around for a long time, we really were kind of one of the first
Yeah.
To do a cigar podcast. I mean, shit, it's almost been 10 years.
It's crazy.
So yeah.
How many episodes have you guys done?
I don't even know, man. We've had so many breaks. I mean, when I first started Patina, we took a long break, and then, but you know, some of the best episodes actually were from the first ones when we first added Dave, because
Dude, those were great.
Dave is just fantastic. That guy is crazy in a really good way, and you know, and then we went through when we got Kyle on, which is great, and then Danny for a while. Danny was the fourth, and then I went back to just me, Drew, and Kyle. So
I was trying to explain to my wife that we're having you on and that you're part of another podcast, and it got really confusing because I said, "Oh yeah, this podcast has Rich, and I do blind reviews with Rich," and then they used to have Danny, and Tyler works with the company that Danny used to work. Yeah, it was all all intermingled.
Yeah, it's such a small little industry.
The hot ticket guys, they're still doing like viral videos on YouTube or Instagram, it looks like.
Yeah, but my understanding is everything else is pretty much done.
It's been a while. Do you guys know when their first episode came out of their podcast?
No.
April 18th, 2017.
Oh, wow.
So, and then TPE or the lounge experience, I mean?
Oh, I have no clue.
Yeah, TLE. No, they're not around anymore, I don't think. Yeah, pretty wild.
Maybe inconsistency is the key, Tyler. We miss a week, but we're better off for it. Well, I feel like coming back the next week.
I don't know if it was BDP or Hustler. They were saying how inconsistent we are. It's like, okay, look, if I had a studio at my job, I would do it every week. Like if you lived here, we could do it every week. But like we both work full-time jobs. You have a part-time job. You're married now. You know, it's like, it's just, if something comes up, you know, it was Valentine's Day and then I was in Vegas. So, I mean, believe me, I want to be consistent, and especially because we have tens of listeners, so I want to make sure we keep them.
Yeah, but between Sultans and CigarNoise Boys, we almost hit 500 listeners probably
for the whole year.
And how many of those are unique? Probably a lot less. There's probably so much crossover.
Well, I got excited by when I'm looking up the analytics and it shows the countries where people are listening from. But that's probably just a VPN, and it's just shooting the thing. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it could be
it's like someone in Argentina is listening to us. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's probably somebody in like Argentina, Texas.
Well, it's this is funny. So we had Alex on, who works for Romacraft now in Esteli, and I told Skip, like, oh hey, we had him on, and then Skip's like, oh, I haven't listened to it yet, and then so he played it, and I had to sit there and listen to us for an hour, and I'm like, I forget what I say on these things. I'm like, did I say something stupid? Luckily I didn't. But Skip's like, you should have asked Alex what his daily like schedule is, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it was good to listen to a podcast so I can kind of take notes, and like Alyssa's been listening to them all too, and she gave me some critiques. She said what a lot of people say, that I'm too mean to Dom, which is true. And then she says like Dom will make a joke and it's funny, but I have no reaction, and it's like she's like, they're funny, why aren't you laughing? Like, you're making it really awkward. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I gotta work on that. Is actually fucking laughing.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Yeah, and I do enjoy doing these, and I know like somebody I think wrote like, hey, I think it's time to give it up. You seem really fucking ornery. Like, well, it's dude. Yeah, I had a stressful few months with the house, and I had a plumbing scare and I was nervous but
Yeah, but we just figured out your plumbing scare: Copenhagen and pre-workout, or sea salt, water, and lemon, or
Yeah.
whatever. What was the other ingredient, Dom?
That's it.
All right,
3.
there you go. Dom is a funny fucker. We're gonna, you know what? We need to get Dom talking more. That's gonna be the goal, Tyler.
yeah.
Just wait till I get this poop out of me. Just you wait.
Okay.
Actually,
Well, just for curiosity's sake, when was the last time you were able to relieve yourself?
I've had like a movement and a golf ball since last Monday. So it's like a weekend a day.
Holy shit,
Dude, take that
No pun intended.
nitrate, man.
My God,
No, I have one of those, Tyler, on deck. That's emergencies though.
How are you even functioning?
It's I don't know. It's runs in the family.
What's your? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is there something dietary?
No, I eat good food.
That's the problem.
I forgot what Dom made.
You know what? Maybe it is.
It was so good. What'd you make for me?
Dude, I made you omelets every morning.
Those are good.
You got to eat some crap every once in a while, man. Flush things out.
I haven't done that for a while.
I guarantee
that can't be the secret.
Dude, if you go to McDonald's right now and you grab yourself a quarter pounder with cheese or something like that and some fries, you'll be on the toilet in about 5 minutes.
Hey.
Yeah. Greasy burger.
Changing the subject now. Tyler, we've been kind of nice to each other this month. It's February. It's a month of love. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Guess what tomorrow is?
Pirate month, huh?
You better believe it, buddy. I'm so excited. I'm going to bring out the rum next podcast.
Oh, no. Are you going to threaten to beat me up and kill me?
I never threatened to kill you.
You threatened to do something to me.
Yeah, punch you in the face.
Oh, okay. Well, I deserve that. I deserve it. I need to get my ass whooped. That will bring me down a notch.
Well, Tyler, I would never do that to you, but I want to get so big that people look at me and there's no shadow of a doubt. Like that guy would beat up that guy with a hand behind his back.
No, I'm big. I can fight though.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get bigger on non-pre-workout.
I was gonna ask Mo. I want to start working out.
Yeah. What, Mo?
No, I was saying you've been hitting the gym pretty hard or what?
Not hard. I do 3 times a week for 30 minutes. That's the time I have.
Well, no, I get that. I mean, it's not about how much time you're in there; it's the intensity. Although, depending on how many reps you can get, but
I mix up my reps and sets.
Here's my advice to both of you guys, as being the senior citizen on this fucking podcast. Take advantage. I mean, I don't really feel much different other than things hurt, but in terms of energy and all that, I'm still the same, with a lot more stress than I did at your guys' age. But I would take advantage of it, man, because here's my thing to you. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And not even just like in terms of life and death, but also the ability to even go exercise, the ability to be active. I think a lot of people take that for granted. And, I remember during COVID, when the gyms were closed and we couldn't go and stuff like that, I promised myself, I said, I will never, ever take a day of being able to go to the gym for granted.
Yeah, that was bad.
Ever again. I won't let myself ever be lazy. And man, until this day, if I feel like if my body's not too sore, to where like that's not good, it's counterproductive. But if I'm feeling even remotely up to it, I go, period. And the way I eat, if I didn't go to the gym, I'd be about 400 pounds. So that's my thing to you guys, man. Please do not take a day for granted. If you're able to go, and this is to anybody listening too, whatever it is, take advantage of it because you never know. So
and listen to Mo because he's given me a lot of good life advice, some of which I didn't listen to and I regretted it actually quite a bit. And I'm older now, I'm wiser, and I realized that Mo was right, and I gotta listen to him more. But like, even like I'm thinking about like, well, life advice, but even like what you said about Peloton and fucking Tesla, you know,
Yeah, I
not only
man.
do you, not only do you give good life advice, you have good finance advice too.
That's what I'm saying.
And
We're a finance podcast.
it was funny. I saw Rob from Bovida, and I had done an interview with them at PCA, you know, where they sit you down on their couch and all that. And he had asked me a question. He said, "If I gave you $250,000 right now, what would you do with it?" And I told him nothing. I would sit on cash. And he was like losing it. He's like, "What? Why? This and that." And you know, it was the economic picture was changing even last year, and so I was like, cash is going to be very important to have going into 2023, going into 2024. So you know, you got to be really careful. So I saw him at TPE, and he's like, "Hey man, your interview's almost up to be aired, you know, because they've been editing and going through all of it." And I said, I want you to focus on that part when I told you that, because that, you know what I mean? Because he laughed at me when I said it, and anybody who knows Rob, he's a fantastic guy.
Great dude, great beard.
All those Bovida guys are just awesome dudes.
Yeah.
So you know, Nate and JP and Mike and all those guys. So but yeah, it was funny, man. I think in just everybody, like, don't get caught up in the moment. Don't get caught up just what's in front of you. Understand all the different factors that could affect whatever it is that you're doing. You know, especially you know, if you have a business or even your work, your environment, your work environment. So I don't know. I always try to encourage people to learn as much as they can and not be so tunnel vision.
Yeah, and like with me buying the house here is it actually worked out really well where I got a lot off what it was asking for in July and what it would have sold for last year at this time. But even like the interest rates, how they're going up and down, like they went up, up, and then they went down a little bit, and then I bought, and then now they went right back up. So it's like I'm just hoping they go back down, and I can refinance in 2 years. If not, I'll just start making an extra half a payment a month and try to pay it off as quick as I can. And then
I would. It's going to be interesting. I think they're still going to raise interest rates a little bit more, but I think as you go into 2024, it's going to become a political thing. So if the economy really starts to slow down by the end of this year, I think they could reverse course and maybe at least keep them constant, if not cut a little bit, because I don't think they're going to want to mess with election type stuff because people will vote with, you know, their wallets and based on the economic structure.
So do you think we'll have a Republican or a Democrat as our next president?
I have no idea on that. I just know that typically they don't like to fuck around too much during election years. So
yeah, it's frustrating to see my 401k sit at the same. It's like, oh, come on, I've been putting in so much.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You gotta, you know, anyway.
Yeah, I got 30 more years.
That's a different podcast. But yeah, speaking of, I gotta get to the gym. So
yeah, I'm gonna start. I think I'm starting Monday. It just sounds funny, but I start a new schedule, so it starts on Sunday technically. So I had this stupid schedule where I did 5 a.m. starts. I had Wednesday, Thursday off. Now I'm going back to Saturday, Sunday, 7:45 a.m. to 4:15. So I'm gonna try to get to the gym before work because I've been getting like 4 hours of sleep and it's been awful. I'll go to bed at like 11:30 and get up at 3:30. It's awful.
It's no good.
Yeah, and then oh, you know what I did too? I'm going to the dentist for the first time in years on Monday.
Good.
Yeah.
Got to keep up on that, man.
Yeah. So I'm a little nervous, but
Put you on my prayer list.
do what?
I'll put you on my prayer list.
Yeah, please.
Do you know the dentist? Is it like a mean dentist? I always have mean dentists.
I don't know. I just went on my insurance and I found one in the hip area. So hopefully he comes in wearing Vans and he's cool.
As we're wrapping up, Mo,
Mhm.
simple question: kilograms or pounds in the gym?
Kilograms?
Do you do metric or the other one?
Not Dom. I look at. I don't want to be an asshole, but why would I use kilograms?
Okay, because I brought this up to Richie V-Cut, and he goes and moves to Canada, and all of a sudden pounds are dumb. No serious weightlifter uses pounds.
Oh yeah, okay, but I'm not a serious weightlifter. He's a literally he trains professionals, I believe, right?
No.
So that and because in international competition they use kilograms, not pounds. So that makes sense. Why Richie would say that. But for a couple of fucking schmucks like you and me, it's pounds.
Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah, that right. He pretty much I believe he trains or he's a physical therapist to guys that compete professionally. I think.
I mean, I haven't scrolled through his Instagram, but he looks pretty yoked.
Oh no, dude, he is big.
Yeah,
V-Cut's a big dude. But I don't know if he competes.
I don't think he's posted anything about competing recently. I think he's running like a 5K or something, but
I don't think.
Oh no,
competes.
Wi-Fi. It's showing. Are we reading?
I got you.
Okay.
Huh?
My Wi-Fi glitched out.
It's a lot better. Good job.
Keep telling you, man. You gotta move out of those like fancy ass neighborhoods in California, man.
It's not a fancy neighborhood.
Dom, how much did you rent?
2,100.
Damn.
Oh fuck.
All right, I feel better about my mortgage.
In Modesto, California.
Not San Jose. San Jose.
Okay, I mean, gee, yeah, it's crazy. All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Rock and roll. Keep those cigars.
Appreciate you guys.
On us. Yeah.